Great evening, great Tuesday evening, everyone. I didn't forget to come share a word with you. I'm just delayed, but not denied, right? So, the topic right now is always do your best. Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later. Og Mandino. Um, that right there is a word and is the truth. We should always do our best for ourselves so that we know that when we put our best foot forward, we've left nothing on the table. And if it doesn't work out the way that we intended, it wasn't meant to work out that way. When you don't put your best foot forward and something doesn't work, you never know if it would have worked. You're giving yourself an out, right? If you don't try hard, then if you fail, you can say, but I didn't try. But you should always make an effort to do your best in everything that you do. Um, and especially when you're getting paid to do that. And that's an interesting thing, right? Because sometimes the mentality is if I only get paid such and such amount, so I'm only going to do such and such amount of work. And the fact is that we choose where we work, if we work. Um, we choose that salary to accept that salary. We need to negotiate better. We should get better skills, right? It's on us where we land when we work somewhere. So we should not take the liberty of deciding how much effort we're going to put forth when we do a job that we're being paid for. And that's a lesson that I had to learn as well. So it's not a lecture to you, it's just lessons learned and just the way to be, because what you plant now, you will harvest later. There is something called karma, and it kicks ass every time it sees fit, which means that what you plant, you're going to harvest later, just like you said. You putting out that half-assed energy, cussing, right? You putting out the half-assed energy to do your job with anything that you're doing means that you're going to get half-assed results later on. Whereas when you put your best foot forward, you'll get the best results possible from your best efforts. And it makes it easier. It should make it easier for you to understand that as long as you put your best foot forward, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to be ashamed about. You tried and you learned a lesson. We're not talking failures in 2022. It is not a failure if you can glean a lesson from whatever it is that has happened to you. And so we're taking all lessons and we're going to actually see great results simply because we're doing our best. You're on a team, you playing, you want to make sure that you're starting right. If you are in a business, you want to make sure that you're at the top of the list when you have all of the different scores being kept of as to who's doing what. When you are leading a team, you want to do your best so that you set the example for them so that they'll know when they build their own teams to do their best. They're all the great reasons, especially if you have children, right? Do as I say, not as I do is how I grew up. It's how I raised my kids, right? But that's not really the way that the world works. Children watch what you do and then they emulate what you do. So you want to put your best foot forward in all ways and at all times in front of your children and grandchildren because you're setting an example and the standard for how they will act later. And believe you me, they watch and they do, and then you sit back and you get upset because you're seeing something happen, and then somebody has to tell you, well, that's what you do, and then you have to be quiet, right? So make sure that you're always putting your best foot forward and your best effort forward to set the example for anyone who's watching you. Because you never know who's watching you, and you are an influence to so many that you want to make sure that you're giving them the correct or proper influence. Okay, guys? So always do your best. And as a bonus, please, if you listen to this and you know what I'm chatting about as well, please let me know, besides Og Mandino, who else has this as one of the principles of what they talk about in their books. Always do your best. Because I actually had that in mind and then saw the rest of this quote and felt like it was a little bit more, not appropriate, but it just explained it a little bit more. So who else, please, in the chat as you're watching this, has this mantra in their book, and which book is it? Have a great day, folks. Laters.